Today we're going to clean the hedgehog houses of Hedgehog's Hollow, me and my able assistant. Welcome back. My name's Mike and Hedgehog's Hollow is the land at the bottom of my garden. And so today we're going to clean out the houses of Hedgehog's Hollow. Now we've got 3 houses. The one we're actually going to change into a feeding station, and the others we're going to set up ready for the new season. Now if you look up on the internet, you will find that generally most websites will tell you that you should only ever clean out a house in April. Some websites will tell you April or October, and if I'm honest, it's August. But that's where you just need to be careful. The one overriding rule you should always stick to is the hedgehog house must be empty. So make sure that your hedgehog house is empty, and you can achieve that by either using your trail cam if you have one and monitor the house and any movements within the house for at least a week, or you can set up a barrier in front of the door, either a stick or a leaf, and ensure that there's no movement. Now I've done that with one house, and with the other house there's in fact a spider web across the door, so I know that there's been no activity through that house. So we're happy that the houses are empty, and I also know that in particular for Hedgehog's Hollow, our hedgehogs move out over the summer. So we've had no activity within the garden, within the hollow, for at least a couple of weeks. So these houses are going to be completely empty, and we're going to prepare them now for the new season when the hedgehogs return after summer, come back during the autumn and start building houses, preparing themselves for hibernation. So the first thing was to retrieve the houses, having confirmed that they're empty. We've retrieved the houses rather carefully out of the garden. Always be careful with the houses. You don't know what might have happened in the last few months since they were placed. So we've retrieved the houses. A couple of things you should have in terms of equipment. Wear gloves as best possible. Always wear gloves. And I've got both a metal brush and just a normal cleaning brush, which we will use later. We're also just going to empty the contents into the garden refuse. They've got plastic cover over them just to keep them a little bit more waterproof. Now the timber itself is completely natural. There's no additives, there's no varnish or any sealant on it. So I've used plastic just to cover them up and protect them during the winter. That keeps them warm, keeps them dry, out of the wind, and it also protects the timber itself, so that's important. Okay, so here we go then. One thing always is just be careful. We know the hedgehog house is empty, but we also don't know what else might be in the house. In general, there's going to be all kinds of insects and bits and pieces in here, so just be quite careful with opening up the house. And the first thing we're going to do is just remove the plastic cover. The other thing you'll notice I've done is I've put a bit of a barrier. I've just used a twig that broke down from one of the bushes in the garden, just to create some separation between the plastic and the timber. And what I found was that there was a little bit of perspiration happening on the plastic, which I, again, didn't want disturbing either the hedgehog or damaging the timber. So that's the reason for that, but that can go out. First we're going to remove the lid. And so this is what the inside of the hedgehog house now looks like. Now, you will not believe the fact that this was actually half full at the beginning, and this is the work of the hedgehogs in filling it completely. You can see that that is pretty much full to the brim, and that's what we're going to clean out now. All of this material we're going to clean out and we're going to replace with new hay. What you want to do is go very carefully. Even though you know it's empty, you still want to go carefully as you remove this material. So let's do that now. always interesting is as you're opening it up, you can see the hollows that the hedgehog has made within the house. And no matter how full you think the house may be, there's always space for that hedgehog to get into, where they curl up and they sleep within that bedding. What you never want to do is just simply tip the house out. You don't know what might be in here, and it's always worthwhile to just be careful as you're doing this. You can see it's a lot more compact within the house than once you take it out, and so it's just worth taking your time, taking it easy. You'll get there, and it's worth doing properly. And there we go. You can see that the house is now empty, and we've managed to fill up a garden, one of these plastic garden tubs, which is one of the larger tubs. So you can see the hedgehogs have been really active in filling up the house for the winter. Now it's time to take the metal brush and just wipe it all down, clean it up, and especially not just the inside, but make sure you get underneath the house as well. And we're done. While we've got the box, let's just quickly have a look at this particular design that we've used. We've got the tunnel, which is to ensure that only the hedgehog has access to the house. And of course, inside, large, square, rectangular living conditions, living space for the hedgehogs. And whilst we're going to fill it now with a little bit of hay, we can rely on the hedgehogs to fill that up themselves. Of course, important to have detachable roof. That helps us to get access and clean. And just one last thing to note, if you're going to do your own hedgehog house, put some legs on it. Just raise it up off the ground. It helps to keep it dry. You can see there's a little bit of wet water damage along this edge, but overall, considering it's been used for the last 16 months or so, it's in pretty decent condition. Right, so this is just run-of-the-mill supermarket bought hay. I'm just going to fill in a little bit at the bottom of the box. And there we go. You can see it's probably about somewhere between a 5 and a 10 centimeter layer, but it's quite loose, and you can see there's a lot of space for that hedgehog to fill in with their own material that they'll collect throughout the garden. Well, I'm going to set about cleaning up the other houses. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe, hit the notification button to ensure you get notification of every new video. We'll be setting up the hollow ready for the arrival of the hedgehogs for autumn. I'm going to clean up the other two houses, and in the meantime, if you want, have a click on one of the other videos or have a look at our Caring for Hedgehogs playlist. Until next time, from me, Mike, and Hedgehogs Hollow, take care for now.